Today I'm going to be doing my summer wrap-up. So as I mentioned in my summer TBR, I go to a year-round school, so my summer is super short. I was really busy this summer, but somehow I managed to read 17 books. Like, dang. I'm really proud of myself. So anyways, there's a lot of books in this book haul, so let's get started. So the first two books that I read in the summer were The Crown's Game by Evelyn Scott and November 9 by Colleen Hoover. But I already talked about these books in my May wrap-up, so if you want to hear my thoughts, link down below. The next book I read was two of the stories of the Virtual Arcana series. I read The Magician and The High Priestess. I'm really loving this series. I bought the whole bind up of the ebooks a while ago. Like, each one just gets better and better. I love the world. It's so fascinating and interesting, and I love how it deals with the Arcana. After I read the Arcana Chronicles by Chrisley Cole, I'm kind of obsessed with the Arcana, and the way they're portrayed in this series is so cool. It takes place in this like futuristic society where like technology is like really like high tech and advanced, and it's kind of like a really like controlled society, kind of like The Giver, where they like control everything. I think the pitch for this book is like The Matrix and The Giver meet The Notebook, like something like that. I'm loving this series so much. I cannot wait to read more of it. The next book I read was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So I actually finished reading this book in the summer. I started reading it around April. If you've been following me for a while, you know the struggle was real with this book. I could not stand this book in the beginning, and I ended up liking it, but I just have so many conflicting emotions about this book that I couldn't rate it. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts, I actually wrote a Goodreads review filled with gifs and pictures. I'm really proud of it. I'll leave it down below. The next book I read was The Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Oh my god, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with Hamilton. Like, it's my favorite. Okay, Phantom is my favorite, but Hamilton is so close. And Hamilton is basically like the behind the scenes, the making of Hamilton. And it's written by Lin. It's written by this other guy too. I forget who he is. Whoops. Anyways, I really love this. I really loved all the background that we got on the Hamilton musical, and I really loved reading all the things that Lin wrote. This book just made me love Lin like so much more. Like, I already was like so in love with Lin, but like after this book, I loved it. I loved learning all the information. There was also information about like Alexander Hamilton. I really loved, it was kind of like watching like a behind the scenes video, but like in book form. Like, I loved it so much. The next book I read was Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I buddy read this kind of with Jessica from Between Stories. She liked this. I absolutely freaking loved Obsidian. Oh my god, it was so good. I love the characters. I love the world. This is one of those series that you don't want to know much about this series. Just go in completely blind. And whatever you do not read the descriptions on this book. It spoils like stuff that happens halfway through the book. Like, why would you do that, publishers? Like, why? I love it. After reading Obsidian, I really wanted to read Onyx, but I was like, no, I want to savor the series, okay? Next, I read The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White. So I went to her launch party for And I Darken last month. I did a video. I'll leave it down below. So I was like, I need to read this because I'm going to get it signed. So I did, and I loved it. This is not my favorite Kirsten White book by far. It's about the daughter of Egyptian gods coming down to live on Earth with the humans, and her just trying to like blend in and be a normal person. I really loved the little bits of Egyptian mythology in it. The ending was like amazing. Like, I mentioned in my Hamilton book tag how this book had like so many twists and turns at the end. I was like, wait, that person did it? Wait, what? My mind is blown. So many plot twists. This is like plot twist heaven. I was so blown away. Okay, like maybe one of the plot twists I kind of saw coming, but everything else was just like completely like nope, I didn't see anything coming. Then after that, I read Revel of the Sands by Owen Hamilton for the Perustopia Book of the Month of June, and I watched the live show too. That was really fun. Anyways, this book is kind of like a Wild West type book with gunslinger, but it takes place in a Middle Eastern type setting with like a desert and stuff. So it's like Wild West means like Middle East, and it's so amazing. I loved this book so much. There's also like magic too. The one little tiny problem I had with this book is why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5, is that some of the magical elements are not fully explained, so I was kind of confused about a few things, but everything else was perfection. I love the characters, I love the world, and the plot was so fascinating. I loved this book so much. I am so freaking pumped for Booktube. Then after that, I was like, okay, I need to read Onyx already. So I did, and holy crap, oh my god. Okay, Obsidian was already amazing. Onyx just like blew everything out of the way. I was just like, how? I gave Obsidian 5 stars. If I could, I'd give this like so many more stars because oh my god, Onyx had so many more cute romance moments, and the little things that Damon did in book 1 that kind of annoyed me, he didn't do them in this one. He was like nicer. And the world gets just more developed in this book, and the plot is like more intense. And, oh my god, I love this book so much. Okay, the ending just like killed me, but everything else, I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm so excited to continue in this series. I'm loving it so much. Next, I read Tyranny of Petticoats by a bunch of authors. So this is a collection of short stories about badass girls in history. I really love the collection. Okay, so the way I rated this book is I rated every individual story and then I took the average. So my rating was 3.56 and I rounded up to 4 stars, and I actually also wrote a Goodreads review for this. Like what? I never thought I could ever write out reviews. That's the reason I started a Booktube channel, because like I couldn't do the review the way blogs do, but I kind of did with like GIFs and everything. I'm really proud of myself. I'll leave the review down below. Next, I participated in the biannual Bibliothon and I read a couple books, and I'm not going to talk about them because I already talked about them in biannual Bibliothon wrap-up. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the books, go check out that video and I'll show you them really quick. The first book I read for the biannual Bibliothon was Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. Then I read Just for Fins by Tara Lynn Child. Then I read Summer Supernovas by Darcy Woods. Then I read The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. And then I read Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. And the last book that I read in the summer was Furthermore by Tahira Mafi. So I got an arc of this at Y'all West, and Mila and we got them together. So logically, it makes sense for us to buddy read it, and we did. And I also buddy read this with one of my friends on Bookstagram, and I loved this book so much. The world is so unique and interesting, and it's so odd, yet it's kind of quirky and so cool, and I loved the writing. Of course, it was beautiful, and I really loved it. And this is like told through like omniscient kind of, and the narrator is kind of really funny. He will like tell you things and he'll be like, okay, the main character doesn't want you to know this, but like this is what happened, and it's like really funny. I kind of liked Shatter Me a little bit more, mostly because I'm not a middle grade reader. This is like a middle grade adventure fantasy type book, and I don't like ever read that. I'm not into middle grade, but I really love this one, so I think that's why I didn't like it as much as Shatter Me, but I still absolutely loved it. And I also wrote a review on Goodreads for this book. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. I'm really proud of the review for this one. I think it's one of my favorites. I put GIFs in it and pictures, and I figured out how to bold face things. I didn't know how you did that before. And just go pre-order this book because it's absolutely amazing and it's worth it. These are some of the books, and I just dropped Pride and Prejudice. These are some of the books that I read during the summer. I'm really proud of how much I read this summer. Okay, so because my summer is so weird, I'm not sure if I want to do an August TBR, because this is kind of like my mid-July wrap-up. Yeah, this is a little weird, but anyways, do you guys want to see an August TBR? Comment that down below and maybe I'll do it. I do have a few books that I do want to read in August. I read every single book that I said I was going to read in my summer TBR, except for like 2 books. I still need to read the book for my TBR jar challenge. I'm going to change my challenge. Instead of reading a debut novel, I'm going to change it to finish a series, and I'm going to finish the Serena Legacy series with Of Neptune. I'm currently reading it, so I don't have it right now. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below if you want to see an August TBR, and also what is your favorite summer read so far? My Bookstagram and my Goodreads is down below.